Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot. My name is Stephanie and this is a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars for December 2019 and the following months. This is the birthday reading for Sagittarius, so this is an extended Celtic cross that is a little more in depth and that I do for the birthday signs. So when your placement is Sagittarius Sun, this will be probably the most accurate reading for you, but as I said, it's also accurate for Ascendant, Moon and Venus and Mars if you want to look into that. Sagittarius, I feel like I don't have to tell you, like, man, your life looks stressful. Seriously, there's so much cards out, so much information. I did this in German earlier and wow, so a lot of stuff going on. You're, I think, in a very busy situation, a busy time, very demanding time, very intense time for you. A lot of things going on mentally and in the real world, physically, a lot of earth energy, a lot of swords energy, air energy. So this is interesting. This should be interesting, and this reading will give you a lot of information. It's your birthday month, so of course Sun is in your sign. That's always a good thing. Sun helps us to gain new understanding, to put light on things, but also overall gives us life energy, forward movement. So even though I think you feel burdened, you feel stressed, you feel like a little burnt out, I would say you can push through. The Sun will help you push through. Jupiter is leaving your sign, and this, I think, is a big catalyst for what's going on here, because Jupiter was in your sign for a year and it blessed you, even though it might not have always seemed like that, with the right direction and signs to make you expand your personality, yourself, to develop, to grow, to really be better, to get better, to change into something bigger, into something of more or somebody of more importance or more meaning, to give your life more meaning, to give your whole being more meaning, your whole existence more meaning. This is what Jupiter does, and it does it in a weird way, but all in all it's a lucky planet, so it really pushes you in the right direction to also be building on that development into a lucky direction, into what you are meant to do here on this planet. So I think a lot of insight was happening for you in the last couple of months and weeks when it comes to what is my way, how do I want to go my way, how do I find the answers within, how do I really have this conversation with myself here with the Hermit, coming out of your recent past. And the Hermit here in this Dali deck is very beautiful because he has all these crystals on his head that say, I have the higher knowledge, I have the clear vision, and I found that within myself. Even though there's these dark clouds still on my leg area, I can walk through that. I see above the dark clouds. And the wonderful thing here also is that you have a Seven of Swords in reverse that says you really had those conversations with yourself in the last year and in the last couple of months. These honest conversations, you're like, okay, this is where I might have lied to myself, or where I might have tricked myself into doing things a way that are not necessarily the right thing. You really cleared out the conflict within yourself. You really cleared out, I think, a lot of anger. Excuse me. Even though there I can still see anger here and still see rage here in a way, but you're much more in control of it, you're much more aware of it, you're understanding how you can instrumentalize it to move forward. and you're really working through that conflict. And I think you found all those things within yourself, and now you're bringing them into this current situation with wisdom, really, with a wisdom about yourself. And also the star is talking about that. You have the star card, is really a higher understanding of yourself, gaining higher understanding of yourself, understanding your vulnerabilities better, your strength better, your positives and your negatives, and really finding some sort of balance there too, and finding the hope and seeing the light, you know, seeing the light, also the light that you found within yourself projected on a bigger picture, that is very Sagittarius, you know, the bigger picture, and seeing that end goal, seeing that very specific goal that you wanna, this target that you want to reach as a Sagittarius person. This is very good, you know, this is very good. At the same time, right now, it seems like everything you've learned in the recent past, in the last couple of weeks and months, is overthrown by some sort of panic. And I think the panic really mostly comes from being overworked, being overwhelmed with all the responsibilities, being exhausted, being mentally exhausted, being physically exhausted, and not really understanding how to make room to get the rest you need, to recover, and to bring order into your thoughts, because it's really important right now for you to, I think that's the most important message of this reading is, I don't know how you do it, we will look at it how you can do it, but make some room, however you do it, to really get some rest. Maybe do some writing to clear your mind, to really clear your mind, to make your mind more organized and calm, I want to say, to be able to also communicate in a better way with your surroundings, and to communicate clearer, and to communicate more honest, and more stand more in your truth, understand your truth more. This is really important. I see this overworked situation here with the Ten of Wands is something that really brings problems for you right now, because it's hard for you to I think also you feel like you're under some sort of supervision, or it seems like somebody is looking at you and judging you and looking if you do things right, and your super ego is judging yourself, so you have to do more and more and more, and it's not enough. And this is a slippery slope, you know. You gotta be careful, because once you know, if you burn yourself out, then you burn yourself out, and then you can't function anymore. So don't go there. It's not a good idea. Don't go there. Even though I know Sagittarius wants to do that because they want to expand. They want to go above the goal. They want to reach higher. They want to see the bigger picture. Yes, but you can't function if you don't rest. It's just your body doesn't function, and especially your mind. I think your body is fine right now. Your mind might be very exhausted, and when your mind is exhausted, you might not make the most rational decisions, or the smartest, I want to say, really, because we have the Page of Swords here in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse, and that's not necessarily such a great energy, to be honest, because it can make you, the Page of Swords in reverse can really make you that kind of person, a know-it-all person who thinks they've seen everything, they understood everything, but at the same time that makes them very ignorant to learning and to opening up to new ways. Because how you're doing things right now, I think you already can tell that this is too exhausting. So you gotta figure out a way to take the pressure out and to rest, to find time to rest. This is the most important thing. And I think you're waiting for this win, you know, you're waiting a little bit for the positive kick, and it's not coming. And you, even though you're doing all those things, now you're feeling like, well, okay, I didn't even really step into it, and it already feels so exhausting and so rewarding. But understand that this is more like the panic of a new way of life and a new way of doing things and standing within your truth and really living out your truth and your beliefs, rather than actual doubts. Because I think you very much figured out how you wanna go about things and what your inner wisdom and your inner self and your inner voice tells you and which way it directs you towards. And now you're like panicking. I feel like you're panicking because you're just overworked. You're like, oh no, you're questioning all that what the Hermit found here in the past. The Hermit here is in reverse, and you're like, oh no, for some reason it doesn't feel right. For some reason it feels like I'm not in tune with my intuition, and I kind of, it's not the Hermit, the Hermit in reverse and the Chariot in reverse is some sort of mental blockage where it's like, for some reason I can't take this step into this new world, because we're talking about a new world. We have the World card here, and you're like in the process of really closing up something and stepping into this new thing, and this actual step is hard. It's hard. It's like, you know, when you, for some reason I think of a dog that is afraid, you know, when you have a traumatized dog, or it doesn't even have to be traumatized, it just has to be a scary thing, you know, and it's in their instinct. It's like they see whatever, a garbage bin, you know, and they've never seen one before, and they're just like, I don't like it, I hate it, I'm just gonna stop and I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go one step further. And then you kind of have to trick their brain into just making the first movement, into just stepping into it. And it's like very much like animal brain and animal fear, and we have that part of the brain as well, you know, the animal brain that is not rationalizing, it's just fear, and I freeze, you know. And this is a little bit like that. I feel like it's a freezing situation of the animal brain that's like, I can't, I don't know what this is, I can't make the step into the right direction. And this is interesting because in German reading this didn't even come to me, but now it's coming with the King of Swords in reverse. And the swords are very much human brain, like prefrontal cortex, rationalizing, sophisticated thinking, logic. So maybe right now don't use that part of the brain too much, because it's not functioning well, especially with all this pressure and all this exhaustion. Your brain will now not, your human brain, your rational brain, your mental sophisticated brain will maybe not have the right answers for you right now, because they're not in order, because you're not giving yourself enough rest, you're not well rested right now. So don't rely too much on it. It's more about what do you believe in and what do you want to actually live out, and how should that look like, and that's the Hierophant. And I think maybe you can trick your animal brain into stepping into that truth, you know, stepping into the more spiritual truth. It's interesting. It's super interesting. Your subconscious too. Your subconscious, it has some sort of confusion. I wouldn't, or it's not even confusion. It's just a lot of stuff going on. It's so much stuff. Oh my God, I don't even know where to look at. You know, it's just everywhere. It's just like stuff. your more unconscious, subconscious mind is also still restricting a little bit the whole one step at a time mentality, which is not very natural for Sagittarius, and I get it. You guys just want to hit the target that's far away and then move on and then like gallop away with your arrow, you know. But right now, and here there's something working very much against the whole let's do things one step at a time, let's just take the first step and then the next step and then the next step, even though I feel like you've very much cultivated that with the Hermit energy and with the Virgo energy that the Hermit talks about in the last couple of weeks. But at the same time, yeah, it's like, I don't know this, what is this? My animal brain says freeze. So this is so interesting. This is really what I get. And also your emotional realm is not yet really believing in letting go of the old, because the old, I mean, sure, you put a lot of, maybe you're not ready to leave everything behind that you have put into the past or put into your past situation, but it's not gone, you know. It's not, I think what you need to understand is it's just because you put a lot of emotion and feeling and heart into a former way of doing things and living, that doesn't mean that it's now not helping you in the future. It's just an it's evolving into a higher emotional vibration. And actually from the 8 of Cups to the 10 of Cups, we have here the 8 of Cups. So from the 8 of Cups to the 10 of Cups, that's a big, that's as far as you can get, you know, the 10 of Cups. So that's a wonderful stretch when you come to the 9. That's a really good stretch when you feel really fulfilled within yourself. And then the 10, where you can share that with your surroundings. So that's what we want to do here. And you have that understanding because the star, I clarified this, and we have the star again. And the star is here the same card in this star that really talks about, which is in the position of how you see yourself and your situation. Which really talks about, okay, I know myself, I know where to go, I understand how I function, I understand much better how I function. I went through hell, basically, you know, because the star comes after the Tower. Everything broke down. I understand that things needed to break free. Now I'm completely naked in front of this river, and I see myself, and I see what I can, what part of my conscious mind I can use to really nurture myself, and the path I walk on, and the ground I kneel on, yeah, like she's doing, and what part of my subconscious maybe I have to give back to the great sea of life that I cannot understand right now, but still I can see the way, I can see myself following a light. And I think it's very much the same light that the Hermit found, you know. It's the same star that is in this lamp, if you can see that. So yeah, Sagittarius, this is an intense reading. Yes, you have to let go of some parts of yourself that don't function well, or that are hard to cut off, or that are not helpful right now, that might come back and you will have to defeat them again. You know, it's not, things just don't get cut off and then they're cut. I mean, sometimes that happens. If you have done the work, you can let go of old beliefs and old selves, and I think you're very much doing that right now, and it's super intense. It's very intense. The intensity of this reading is a different kind of vibe, to be honest with you. We have the World card that really is also confirming this letting go of an old, a fulfilling of some sort, fulfilling of a cycle, also in a positive way, and stepping into something higher, something more good, you know, more higher, evolved, sophisticated, whatever you want to call it. Next level, spiraling up. This is what the World card really means. Completion of a cycle, completion of a big cycle. And this is hard, and there is a lot of, but behind it is really, it's really what you believe in, you know, leaving that old way of doing things behind opens up the pathway to this sort of life and tradition and understanding and spiritual belief system you always wanted to live, you know, really your spiritual truth, what you believe in. And make sure you're communicating as clearly as possible. It's really an issue here right now. Make sure you're honest with people. Make sure you're honest with yourself. Make sure you control your thoughts. And you don't say things that you regret later, or that you make sure you don't hold back too many things, and you stay in control of your mind. It's really important. And therefore you really need to give yourself rest. It's very important. I cannot say it often enough. You gotta figure out a way. I know things are it's like shit is hitting the fan. That's what this reading looks like. It's like so much is going on. Still, if you find the time to, if you got some free time, use it wisely. Don't go out drinking. Don't do stupid adventurous things. Don't, you know, it's a lot about, I have a vibe here of accepting offers from people that actually, you know, are not good for you, or that confuse you, or it's all like a little zany here, you know. It's like going out drinking, having too much fun that is actually a little bit destructive. I know Sagittarius can take so much of that stuff. You're like so resistant, and you're so you kind of need that craziness in a way a little bit, and that's cool, but just make sure you get your mind sorted out afterwards, or you don't go too far, you know. That's such a funny thing. I always say that to Sagittarius, and it's just why I even mention, because you're the kind of people who go too far. But just don't hurt yourself and don't hurt others. Let's put it that way. It would be much more beneficial for you right now to actually travel in your mind, go far in your mind, write stuff down. That would be so good for you. Or if you don't want to write, you know, if you're not a great writer, if you don't enjoy it, then talk shit out. Dictate it on your phone, you know, just like record it. Record yourself talking. Record yourself talking to yourself or to some imaginary person. It's really about sorting out your mind. There is so much thoughts that, and so much stuff happening, and so much activity, that you really kind of need to express thoughts. And that might happen in a good conversation, but I see more of a alone time vibe, where you are with yourself, maybe meditating. And I mean, man, you're exhausted, so just take a rest. dude, seriously, chill out for a second. You don't want to go into the road of more craziness right now. Not a good idea. There's people surrounding you that can show you things about how to have a stable foundation, how to hold on also materially, financially to what they have. Even though it looks to you like they're holding on too much and it's not a very stable thing they're doing, at the same time they're still standing their ground and stable, you know. So don't, and this connects with the Page of Swords energy here, don't feel like you know it all. Don't, because you don't. Nobody does. It's a big one here, you know. And even, I mean, there's a little bit of a stalkerish energy with the Page of Swords, but I get more of a vibe of maybe having a hard time opening up yourself to learning. Yeah, maybe having a hard time opening yourself up to learning. Because you just, first of all, are not very well rested and your mind is not very receptive right now of things because you're just overworked or overstimulated. That might be the main reason. So yeah, understand that all people who have stability here, also in your surroundings, they take risks, you know. And talk to them and have interactions with them. Have interactions with stable, financially stable people. That would be a good thing for you right now. And also people who know how to hold on to their stability. The Lovers. Okay. Well, let's talk about love for a second then. This whole letting go thing really connects with your, I think, and doing things one step at a time and letting go of something old, maybe an old connection. You're in the process of it. It's cool to give it time, you know. It's cool to not rush those things and to find the trust within your own decisions again. Just takes a moment, and that's what the Lovers here, I think, are trying to say. We have that Gemini full moon, so around December 12th, I think something can shift here where you're more ready to let go, definitely. And you gain more of a understanding of yourself with this Star card. There's hope. There's a lot of hope. You have a lot of hope for yourself. That's wonderful. That's a good thing. All right, Sagittarius. Wow, man, I'm exhausted just from this reading. I don't even want to imagine your life. But get as much rest as possible. I know it's hard to squeeze it in right now for you. It seems like it's hard to convince yourself that this is important for you, but you're already at a breaking point. You're not at a breaking point because you're still carrying the weight, but if you continue, you will very soon arrive at a breaking point, and you don't want to do that because you don't want to have a burnout situation where you can't function anymore. So take a step back. Take time to rest your brain. Most important, your body is fine. You know, it's not about your physical body. I think it's really more about your mental state of mind, you know, your mental state. So maybe even through movement, you can calm down your brain. Maybe go running. A lot of Sagittarius love running. So there could be some freeing moments in for you. Give yourself calming brain food, if you know what I mean. All right, Sagittarius. I love you. I hope you have a great December and next couple of months. Come back in January, and if you want to work with me privately, you can email me. You find the email address in the description box below. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.